So, like I said, welcome to today's class. It's going to be a very short one, but very impactful. And I know I gave us an assignment. So, at the end of this class, you see why I gave you the assignment. So, one of the things you notice we've been building on every time we meet, it's one step after another. So, we trust that as we keep going further, keep getting better. So, I believe every one of us tried the assignment that I gave. So, one of the very important things we'll look into this morning is what is a buyer persona. It's called a buyer persona. Now, this thing is very, very important that we look into it very well. So, Ms. Chichi, can you please mute your mic, Ms. Chichi?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
all
sir.
right. Thank you very much. I think that's where the noise was coming from. All right, so we'll look into this briefly and I will leave us to continue our day. Uh, so, what is the buyer persona? So, it's a semi fictional idea of a company, organization's ideal customer or client. It's quite something. It's something that you need to engage with as you start your journey in the digital world. Now, whether you are coming in as a marketer or you're coming in as a marketer or as a business owner, everybody needs a buyer persona because it gives us an it's like a mannequin. Let me use the word mannequin. You know how tailors put a mannequin, they get a mannequin, then they now style clothes and put the clothes on the mannequin. That is what a buyer persona means in lay terms. So it's an image of the ideal customer you want. But you now need to understand how does the customers, for let me use tailor for example, they need to measure your length, your weight, your weight or your width, as the case may be, just to get an idea of your size. Then they now factor in the clothes you have to produce something that will fit your body size. So that is what a buyer persona is. It is a customer's archetype, which is buyers' personas are created to help companies better understand who their customers are and what their needs are. So buyer persona allow you to create more precise marketing strategies. That's why we are doing this. Now, each time I use this, I always get massive returns because this thing is very, very expedient as a marketer or as a business person. Okay, Joyce is saying our network is not friendly. Just maybe you can disconnect and connect back, possibly is the area where you are in now. So, developing a buyer persona involves the construction of a profile with the aim of synthesizing your end customer's traits and understanding which customer segments you want to target. So it's about understanding because in the market there are different segments of the market rate: age, demographics, interests, many things describes the market. So before we can start our campaign, we must understand who our ideal customers are. We must understand what their needs are. We must understand what kind of things do they even watch online. Because we don't get these basic things, you just run ads and waste your funds. So this is done in order to understand who is most likely to perform an action related to a product or service. That is how we are doing this. So you take a paper, write down all the things about the persons you want to actually target. So as we go deeper, you start seeing some other aspects. So with the assignment I gave us, we can now link both of them together to see why I gave us the assignment and the end of it. So you also determine which marketing strategy you also deploy to reach out to this person. Like I told us last class, there are some persons you want to reach out to. They are not in the platform you're trying to get them at. So that's why you have to go and meet them at the platform. For some persons, they are on TikTok, some are on Instagram, some on Facebook. So, but you need to create an idea, an ideal, like a picture. Let me use a visual or a picture of the person you want to reach out to. This guy, for example, I want to sell iPhone. I know it is most Gen Z that buy iPhone. Like the iPhone is something that they fancy so much. So I have to look at their age first of all. Where are they mostly located? What platforms do they use mostly? So I can bring back my products and reach out to them. So that's just in summary what a buyer persona is. So the next thing we'll now look into is how do I know who my buyer persona is? This is the first thing you must do. But the first thing you should do is some market research on the type of people who typically buy your products and services. So how you do this is by understanding the nature of the persons that buy your product. You do a thorough research. Don't just start a campaign. Don't just start the advert thinking people will buy because you are selling or because you have a good product. You must understand this integral aspect. Do your marketing research properly. Know where they are. So you must take into account market research to know who buy your products and your services. Now, there are two factors you look into, both the quantitative and the qualitative aspect of them, of those individuals who are on Facebook, who are on Instagram, who are on Snapchat. You must take into account these two factors. So I'll break down these things. When it comes to this type of analysis, there are what is known as the hard and soft characteristics. Now, please pay attention. By tomorrow, you see this thing called the hard characteristics on Facebook. When you are trying to run ads, you meet this thing. That's why I'm trying to give us the the theory first of all, before we go into the practical. So when we start seeing these things, you'll not be confused. You know, okay, I heard it yesterday when I was teaching. So hard characteristics refer to general and more structured data, such as age. On every platform, you see that they'll give you the age bracket to target. Sometimes it starts from 18. Some platforms start from 16 years. It depends on the platform you're trying to get. So, such as age, location. These are what we call hard characteristics. Are they based in Nigeria? Are they based in Calabar? If they are based in Nigeria, where are they actually based? Like I told us, I did an advert for a betting company, and all they wanted were they didn't want Nigerians. All they wanted were people outside of Nigeria, Canada, America, Spain, different countries that they want to intimate with. So you need to know who your target audience is, first of all. What is their age? Where are they based? These are the hard characteristics. Then you now break it down to the soft characteristics. Now, this one has to do with tastes, one. It deals with interests, two. And also their practices. These are some of the things you must note when it comes to people who buy your product. What do they like? Are they people that like some certain type of cream? You know, there's some cream that people use. Why they are buying it just to get bleached. Some buy it to maintain their skin color. So before you release a product, let's say you're into skincare, you sell cosmetics. Before you go into that product, you must know who your audience are. Audience research is a critical thing you must do before you start engaging your product. Don't just start selling things. That's why I said there are two characteristics you must look into. The first one is the hard characteristics. That one deals with the age and location. Why the soft characteristics deals with their interests, their taste, their demographics, all those little things that you see. Where do they spend time on? This is where you now look at the soft characteristics. Now, to make it more accurate, or to make the most accurate portrait, we recommend asking yourself this question. I think there are about 9 questions you must ask yourself when it comes to this buyer persona. Remember, the buyer persona is all in your mind, though. It's not, you've not yet met them. You're trying to create a picture of their ideal persons in their numbers. This person I'm trying to reach out to, it can be, I'm using one person as a mannequin, but in that one person, there are millions of persons who are in the same age, who fall in that same age bracket, who have the same age, who are in the same location, who have the same interests, who have the same likes. Do you understand? All of those modalities are the things you must put into consideration before you start marketing. So the first question, to create an accurate portrait, to create an accurate mannequin of your ideal customer, one of the things you must ask yourself is, one, what do they do? Are they bankers? Do I want to target bankers for this advert? If they're not bankers, are they retailers? What do they sell? That's the first question you ask. What do they do? Are they students? Are they businessmen? So you have to put all of these into account one by one. So as you do that, you will keep growing and you start understanding your ideal customers. I think some persons went offline. I think it's a network. If you can hear me, just unmute your mic and say something. Let me know you can actually hear.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, let me see. That's not my network. It's their network. So let's go ahead as we progress. Maybe later on, watch the video. So the second question you ask yourself is, what industry do they belong to? Once you finish asking the question, what do they do? The next question is, what industry do they belong to? Are they in the space called agriculture? Are they in the space called engineering? Are they into marketing? Are they in sales? All of these aspects are things you must look into as you progress or as you move with the research of the buyer persona you are trying to create. Remember, the first question is, what do they do? Number two, what industry do they belong to? Number three, what is their educational background? Are they PhD holders? All of this, and I'm telling you, you see it as you move into Google Ads. You see it as you start entering into ads proper. Are they PhD holders? Are they BSc holders? Are they, those categories? Are they skilled? Are they unskilled? So all of these questions are things you must take into consideration before you start running your ads. Then the next question is, where do they live? Where do they live? Are they living in Delta State? Are they living in Asaba? Are they living in Lagos? Do they have multiple locations? Are they scattered everywhere in Nigeria? So instead of just focusing my advert on just Asaba alone, or Delta State alone, or Lagos alone, I can now choose multiple locations because my idea of a customer that I want to buy my product are in these locations. So that's these are the questions you ask. Number four is, what daily challenges do they face? Is it finance? Are they low income earners? There are questions you must ask yourself before you just start. Number five or number six, what solutions do they need? This thing I'm trying to bring, this my product, can it solve their need? Can it meet their need? Am I sure that what I'm trying to sell out to them can actually meet them at the point of their need? These are the questions you ask so that you know the idea of the person you are trying to reach out to. Like I told us the first day, everything we do online is monitored. Everything we are doing online is monitored. The likes you make, the comments you share, the posts you share, rather, the comments you make, the likes, the posts you also make on your status, everything is monitored. Each time you click on a product, each time you like on them, in fact, each time you not just like without you liking it or even reacting to it, by just looking at it, it's called impression. Just seeing the ad, they know that they know you've actually seen an advert, actually. Even if you don't click at it, you don't like it, you don't share it, by looking at it, you call it impressions. You've seen it. That's how it works. So the next question you ask yourself is, what questions or problems arise when they try to find or implement solution? This solution I'm trying to give out to them, what questions would they ask? That's why I give us an assignment just I think last week to tell us to create objections, questions that customers will likely ask. And most times in every field, they don't have more than 6 questions. Everybody that come and buy through you, if you can find those 6 questions and provide answers to them, you will always make sales. Look for those 6 questions that they always, we call it the rule of 6. There are 6 questions in every field. Like I always say, there are exceptions to everything, but from what I have seen, read, and come to realize, there are 6 questions people ask, objections that they have when it comes to every field. So find those questions, you will always know how to solve them and also know how to make more sales than you can actually imagine. The next one is, what activities do they like to do in their free time? What channels are they into? Comedy? Are they into sports? Are they into nature? What kind of activities do they belong to? All of these questions you're asking yourself is to know where to put the ads into. Please, if you are following, just write a comment on our chat box and just say I'm following, so that I know that people are with me. I'm not alone in this place. All right, who is going first? Let me see some comments. Let me know if people are following me. If I don't get comments, I'll know people are not following. I'm waiting for a comment.
Hello.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I can hear somebody's voice. Let me see. It's following. All right, let's move ahead. So the next one is okay. I'm following. That's good. So, what are the aspirations and motivations? These are things you see tomorrow when we're not going to the arts proper. Number seven, the second, third, to the last is what would they change about their jobs in order to be happier? Now, all of these questions is not a hard and fast rule that you must tick all of these boxes, depending on the nature of the product you are trying to sell. Depending on what you're trying to sell to the customers, you will now implement all of this. So, depending on your industry, let's say you are into fashion. Some of these questions apply to you. You must answer these questions. Look for the customer's questions that they will ask you. Some of them might say, I don't have the money, it's too expensive. You must answer those questions in real time. You must develop answers to the question they're asking so you can be able to convince the customers to buy from you. Because what you're trying to sell, there are many other customers doing that same thing. Many other people who are doing that same thing you're trying to sell. You're not the only person in that field. So what will make you stand out is your ability to convince, not confuse the client, convince him that your product is the best. Your product will meet them at the point of their need. The next one is what media and books they usually consume. Like I said earlier, are they into Facebook? What kind of books do they read? Those are the things that will not make you target the right person that needs your service. So some persons run adverts and just target everywhere. Like for me, one of my clients will always tell me, I don't want people from the north because their location, I can't travel down there to go and service them. So please leave the entire north. Just only target Abuja. Leave Katsina, leave Kano, because I don't have the strength and the resources and the energy to carry my materials from Warri or Delta State down to Kano. It's quite far. And most times, these clients will not pay that amount for transport. So what you just do, know your audience and stay with where you're actually getting results. Then as you progress, you can decide to go and open a branch in that same place. It's like you don't have to travel that frequently. The next one is on which social networks are they most active? Are they most active? Okay, Goslov, can you mute your mic? She has gone. On which networks are they most active? Are they on Twitter? Are they on Instagram? Hello, Goslov, can you mute your mic?
38.
Okay, I think she's. So once you get the answer to these questions or all of these things, it will give you an edge to know the kind of persons you will now target. So the next one we'll move into, so it can be very fast, is how do I know who my buyer persona is? Now I want to show you that buyer persona is a representation. Doesn't mean that this thing is real. It's a picture of the person. Now you create the profile of an imaginary person with an imaginary name and their daily life. This is how you do it. So even though like a mannequin, these mannequins are not real. They're just an idea of to show, to test outfits. That's what you do with a buyer persona. So you just create, you can call the person's name, Mr. Okechukwu. He's 35 years old. He lives in Nigeria. He loves to watch cartoon. He loves different things. So when you do all of these things, you now know the kind of person you reach out to. Now, unlike a buyer persona, the target audience does not have its own identity. It's a broader concept of basic characteristics such as age, graphical residence, and social class. The target audience is abstract, and groups use that together. The buyer persona seems to create a real image of a person who will want to consume and fall in love with our product. You want at the end of the campaign, this buyer is so happy that he met you. This buyer is so happy that he bought your product. That's the aim of this buyer persona. You want to meet the buyer at the point of their need. The next one we'll look into types of buyer persona. Number one is purchase decision maker. This is the person who makes the final purchase decision. So there are two kinds. One is the influencer. One is the the person who actually creates, who makes decision to buy. Now, this is a profile with authority that recommends the product. For example, the pharmacist who recommends one product for another, or a salesperson you ask to help you choose a product. These are the different class of people who we can see or who we can create as an idea of a buyer persona. The one who makes the final decision maker. And the second one, who we call them influencers. Influencers are people who can make or break a third party's willingness to buy. Now, if you sell a product, like for example, I will spend more time here on this thing called influencers, because there's two kinds of influencers. We have what they call the elephant influencers, and what they call the ant influencers. Now, elephant influencers are those who have massive following, massive followers that one comment or one tweet from them can destroy your brand in one day. Now, if you watch the World Cup last year, see World Cup or Euros, there's a match where Ronaldo was served Coca-Cola. On the table, they came to do a press conference, and there was a bottle of Coke on the table because Cristiano Ronaldo just moved the Coke bottle and pushed it aside. Coke lost millions of dollars in one day because one person who has massive following just moved Coke from the bottle, from this table, and pushed it. Coke dropped in value in one day because of one mass action. You know why? Because this person has massive following. So the same thing
is wonderful.
Yes, so yes, the influencers are very powerful. Like for example, let me now bring it to Nigeria. Now, if you know, for example, in Nigeria we have some popular influencers, like like you see Sabinus, you see Brain Jota, you see these guys. They are quite big in Nigeria because they have massive following. Now, but there's that is in their niche, because they're into the comedy business and fun business. Now, depending on the area you're called into, you're trying to reach out to. Now, even though these guys are diversified into other areas, if you see most of them, they normally advertise for these products, this Forex, 1xBet, yes, 1xBet. Most of them, the moment you start getting followers, 1xBet contacts you, you don't even contact them. So as you build a profile, the level you get to, companies start contacting you because they know that your word, you're not an influencer. You can convince people who are following you to patronize, to buy their products, to buy their services. That is what we call influencers. So sometimes customers or buyer companies, what they do to create a buyer persona, they don't go down to the final decision maker, the person that will buy directly. They look for influencers that will influence others. That is how it works. They look for those who will influence others. They create an idea. Okay, I think Mr. Macaroni, he has 1.something million followers on YouTube. On Facebook, he has over 10.something million followers. I think with the kind of content he creates, we can actually reach out to him to influence others. So we can give him a 1 year contract of 5 million naira for 1 year to help us say things about our products. That's how it works. There's no two ways. So famous influencers who you should keep in mind for collaboration fall under this category since they influence the purchasing habits of their audience. That's just what they do. Like I just give an example of 1xBet. Is a common one that many, both those who are upcoming and those who are on top, they still do it because they pay them, depending on the number of followers you have. So the buyer persona, you can target two kind of person. The first one is the person who makes the final decision. You can create a picture of that person, or you can decide to create a picture of the person that will influence the person you're trying to reach out to. Two different instances. Both of them are different. So even if you're here and you want to sell cars, you can, instead of running adverts, you can call an influencer, pay them, they will talk about your products and people will buy. Two ways. So we call it influencer marketing. It's an aspect of digital marketing. So I just digress to teach us what they call influencer marketing so that we can also understand it. I don't know if you are following. If you are following, please just say I'm following.
I'm following.
All right, thank you very much. All right, so the next one we'll look at is the advantages of creating a buyer persona. What do you stand to gain if you do all of these things? Number one, you develop an in-depth knowledge of your ideal customers. You understand their needs, their problem, their consumption habits, their tastes, their activities, their how they want to purchase, is it either by cash or other means. So it helps you connect with people you are trying to reach out to even before you reach them. So when they will reach you, it's like, I already know you before. So thank you for actually coming, but I've created a picture of you before you actually came to my page. So it gives you an in-depth knowledge of the person you're trying to reach out to. 2, you can improve segmentation and personalized content marketing campaigns. You know, one of the beauty of a buyer persona, it helps you create the right content for the right people. So I don't have to create a content that will please everybody. I know who I want to meet. I know who I want to buy my product. I just create a content around it to reach them. Simple and short. Because 1, you know the language they speak. You know the channels they are. You know what they read and other things about them. So it helps you do market segmentation proper, and they're creating the right content for them. That's a simple difference. Number 3, you will know which spaces to invest in and which not to. You know that, okay, since I'm going into cryptocurrency, Facebook is not the right platform. Not like it's not right, but it won't give me the engagement I want. Twitter is the best platform for this thing I'm trying to do. I'm trying to sell Ankara clothes. Facebook is the best place because Facebook is a marketplace where you find all kind of people. Facebook, you can see rich, poor, lame, all kind of markets on Facebook. So it helps you know the kind of person or the platform to invest in, so that you don't carry your money and invest everywhere and you not get nothing. So focus on a channel, stay with it. The channel, you know that this channel will give me what I need. Stay with it and build from there gradually. That's it. The 4th one is, it will allow you to optimize your resources. You will learn which actions to focus on and which actions to leave aside. Because you now understand the customer's pain points. That's the major thing I'm looking at. You understand their pain points. You understand their objections. You understand their questions. So you know what they're actually asking. So it helps you not to waste time and money. You just focus until you meet what you're trying to get. So the next one I'm trying to run, because I'm supposed to just use actually 1 hour. Our next we look at is how to create a buyer persona. The first one is define your needs. So at this step, you'll be thinking about what kind of information you're going to need, or what information you are going to be interested in learning from your buyer, about your buyer rather. So you're looking at how the persons I want to reach. You think about what are the things they need, so that I can create the right content that reach them. So you define the needs of your buyer first. My buyers, they want land in Ikorodu. How many of them are there in Ikorodu? So all of these things, it will not guide my content so that I can target only those who are in Ikorodu. Or I want to sell properties to those who are abroad. There's some adverts you see, they don't run it in Nigeria. They run it in different countries. But it's being done in Nigeria. There's a place we call people who are in diaspora. People who are living in Nigeria, who are Nigerians but not living in Nigeria. I don't know if you understand. They are Nigerians, but they don't live in Nigeria. So you can know how, okay, the advert I want to run, I don't want people who are in Nigeria. I want Nigerians, but those who are outside Nigeria. So what do they need about my product so I can take it to them? So you must understand this thing before you start the advert. The next one is collect information about your customers. So you must also collect information about your customers. Once you know what they need, start collecting all the knowledge you can about your customers. Consult all the sources in which you might find information about them. If it's on TikTok, if you're on blogs, if you're on articles, wherever they spend time, social media, whatever handle, wherever they are, go and gather information about them. So for me, whenever I meet a client and they want to run the advert, what I do, I normally take at least 24 to 48 hours to do my market research. It's very important. Don't start without doing research. You will miss out the whole thing. But as you keep doing it, the more you keep engaging on adverts, you'll now find easier ways to know who you target. So that you don't have to spend more time doing market research. There are tools you can use to get what people are searching for, what they're looking at, where they're spending time on, what content they're consuming. There are tools, thank God for AI and some things that are now available to us. You can now know what blogs they are reading, what platforms they are going to. So you can know how to target the websites, the platforms they are on, the channels they are on to engage them. So that's just in summary. Then the next one, the third one is use what you learn. Once you've gotten information about them, use it to your own advantage. So in this step, you must have a clear understanding of your strengths and weakness in order to develop. So as a business, something called SWOT, your strengths, your weakness, your opportunities in your area, and the threats around you. So once you get all of these things, you now know, okay, as a business, I know my challenges. I know I cannot do delivery nationwide. Don't go and say I can deliver nationwide, I cannot deliver nationwide. You put your business at a risk because one wrong testimonials can hamper your business. One wrong comment section on your place. I bought last week, up to now, I've not gotten it. As many persons that get that comment, they will not buy again. So that's why you must be careful before know your strengths, know your weakness. Know what you cannot do. If you know what you can only function is in your locality, stay there and grow from there. Don't say I can deliver nationwide and you cannot deliver nationwide. What you can only do is only Ekpan, only Warri, only Lagos. You've not learned how to navigate other states. So that's just the basics. Then the next one is, how do we create a buyer persona? How do we create this? So step 4, build your persona. Design a fictitious portrait of your ideal customer. Like I said, that's like what a tailor does. We look at number 1, number 2, 3. Number 1 is find a need, understand the segment. Number 4 is build your buyer persona. What a tailor does with a mannequin is what you do with a buyer persona. It's not real. It's like a picture of an ideal customer in your mind. But in this time, you're bringing that picture in your mind on a paper. So, for example, you can create a model design, give them a name, display data in a clear and orderly way, and describe their likes, dislikes, hobbies, etc. Think about how that person moves through life on a day-to-day basis, and imagine the routes that will lead them to your product. All of these things are things you must consider. How much do they earn? And my customer salary earners. So that means if by month end they will get paid. This one I'm doing adverts now, they will not get paid. So most people don't understand this. You want to sell clothes. People you're targeting are people who earn salary. You are running advert on the first of the month. Or you will not see them or in the middle of the month. So most people don't know that all of this thing plays a role to why your adverts work. So even though sometimes they'll contact you, that's why there's a place called follow up. Once you get their details, stay with their details, keep following them up, follow them up, and with time they will now buy from you. So that's just it. Then the next one we'll look into now is, okay, this is almost there. That's how to create. This buyer persona will be a model upon which you will base your communication and marketing campaigns on. It will help you determine how to address your target audience, how you communicate with them by learning about their tastes, needs, and what they want out of life. So there's some of the things you look into before you start creating that buyer persona. What media are they consuming? How do I engage them? How do I react to them? So when you do all of these things, you can now start your campaign. It's one thing we'll do tomorrow, and we'll get that. So thank you for participating in today's class. Please, these videos are recorded, and we can always get them on our YouTube channel. You can always get the classes there. So listen again. You might think you've heard it, but as you keep listening to it and practice the things I'm saying, it's got that you become more and more better. Many persons who learned what I learned didn't start, and it became, because once you don't implement the things you're learning, it became, at some point you start losing it. What you don't use becomes useless. What you don't use, you lose. That's the rule of life. So start, go over it again, learn it, go through the classes over time. Let the concept, let this catch the spirit of marketing, let it enter your spirit. These basics that I'm trying to share with us, as you do it, it becomes a part of you. And I tell you one thing, the sky will be our limit. So I don't know if anybody have questions so far from today's class before we go to our assignments. Then we will round up and go. Any question for today's class? Please ask your questions now.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the class.
You're welcome.
I really enjoyed it.
Right.
So I want to ask, like you said, that we should start. Like we should, what you're saying, and that we should start. Trying to encourage us to start, and then if we don't make use of what we are learning, we'll start losing it. Like, where are we actually supposed to start from? Like me,
Okay.
I'm getting confused. Like, where do I actually start from? Like, are you talking about starting? I don't understand. Is it with my present business or starting the online
Okay.
digital stuff? What are you talking
All
about?
right. All right. So there are two
And then
ways.
another
Like,
thing I want you to
okay.
sorry, sir. Let me just give out the question
All right.
again. Another thing I
All
want
right.
you to, like you said, I think in our first class you said this digital marketing class or course, anything we're going to learn here covers almost virtually everything that we can think of that is sellable in this life. I remember you talked about food, you talked about other areas.